It's not power I want. What I wanted to take back from the Patriots are things like freedom, civil rights, opportunities.
What makes a villain? Is it his motivations, his goals, the actions he takes to achieve those goals? In Metal Gear Solid, no one is who they seem to be, and Solidus is no different. Solidus, one of the antagonists of Metal Gear Solid 2, masquerades as Solid Snake with goals Solid Snake himself would take on in Metal Gear Solid 4. Stop the Patriots. So why is it that Solidus is considered a villain, but Snavit isn't? Has Solidus earned the label villain, or is he a secret good guy? Today we're tackling Solidus and whether or not he's truly a villain in Metal Gear Solid. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Luffy and welcome to my channel. I talk video games and character analysis, so if that's your thing, subscribe and stick around. If you like what I do here, consider supporting me on Patreon or becoming a channel member so that I can continue to bring these videos to you weekly. Heads up, this video will have spoilers for Metal Gear Solid 2. Solidus, the secret good guy?
All I want is to be remembered by other people, by history. The Patriots are trying to protect their power, their own interests, by controlling the digital flow of information. I want my memory, my existence to remain.
Solidus has two main goals: to be remembered and to restore freedom of information, civil rights, and opportunities to the American people. Solidus has spent the majority of his life as a tool used by the enigmatic entity, the Patriots. The Patriots are a shadowy organization that control the US from behind the scenes. The Patriots, headed by Zero, were responsible for Solidus' existence, cloning him from Big Boss in 1972. In 1980, they sent Solidus to fight in the Liberian Civil War, meaning he was just 8 years old when he was sent to fight as a soldier. Because of his rapid aging, however, he most likely looked older. The Patriots went on to promote him to President of the United States when he was a young adult. Like anyone else, Solidus wanted to be in control of his own life, though when he refused to dance to the Patriots' string pulls, they removed him from his presidency and planned to remove him from the living as well. What use is a puppet that doesn't perform? After they burned Solidus, the Patriots planned to bury his existence so that it faded away into obscurity, which was a step too far for Solidus. Solidus wanted to have a legacy, so he hatched a plan that would land him a list of the Patriots so he could destroy their organization and prevent his erasure. Does this sound like a villain to you?
The end of the Patriots' secret rule. Liberation of this country. This was where it was supposed to begin. This is where freedom could have been born.
The Patriots have developed an AI that will control information, censoring what they deem needs to be censored, and crafting the information they keep to fit their own narrative. Solidus saw this firsthand when the Patriots assigned him to be the president of the US. They manipulated the public and thus stripped the American people of their civil liberties. This wasn't something Solidus could abide by. A list of the Patriots lived in Arsenal Gear, a Metal Gear made to look like an offshore cleanup facility in order to not panic the public. Arsenal Gear housed GW, an AI geared towards information control. Naturally, one key piece of information the Patriots wanted controlled was a list of their names. Solidus could extract the list from GW, and so he took control of the facility. During Solidus' hostile takeover, his successor, President Johnson, was inspecting the Big Shell, what the cleanup cover story part of Arsenal Gear was called. President Johnson, along with his entourage, were all taken hostage. You may be thinking, kidnapping the president? That sounds like a pretty villainous behavior to me. Did Solidus kidnap the president, though? When Special Operative Raiden fights his way to President Johnson with the intention of rescuing him, President Johnson reveals,
I wanted power. I wanted absolute power.
He was working with Solidus and willingly input his code to allow the launch of a nuclear strike. He felt that by working with Solidus and making a nuclear launch an active threat, that he could blackmail the Patriots into elevating his status. President Johnson was tired of being a pawn of the Patriots and thought he could use Solidus and his access to nukes to blackmail the Patriots. Can we really blame Solidus for kidnapping the president? Or did the president manipulate things to be captured by Solidus? Solidus wants a list of the Patriots so that he can destroy the Patriots and free the world from their control. Just 2 games later, in Metal Gear Solid 4, Snavit and Otacon share the same goal. Why is it when Solidus wants to destroy the Patriots he's a villain, but when Snavit and Otacon do it, they're heroes? Solidus does a lot during his time in Metal Gear Solid 2, but it's all motivated by the very human desire to be free from oppression and to be remembered. Do these motivations nullify his status as a villain, though? Solidus, the absolute villain. Let's take a look at the opposite argument. Solidus took over Arsenal Gear to get a GW and a list of the Patriots. What was he going to do with Arsenal Gear once he'd accomplished his goals, though? Well, He'd planned on putting Arsenal gear in the hands of rogue group Dead Cell. Dead Cell was interested in having a fortress, but more concerningly, they were interested in the hydrogen bomb stored in Arsenal gear. Solidus knew that Dead Cell planned on launching the hydrogen bomb, but didn't care for the countless lives that would be destroyed, and was ready to hand Arsenal gear off to Dead Cell anyways. That's not good guy behavior. That's bad guy behavior. Solidus doesn't have a lot of empathy for anyone, for that matter. Olga was acting as a Patriot spy, guiding Raiden as needed while also working for Solidus. At the end of MGS2, she jumps in between Raiden and a Metal Gear Ray to save his life. The Patriots blackmailed Olga into working for them by kidnapping her daughter and holding her hostage. If Raiden lost his life, the nanomachines would signal the nanomachines in Olga's baby and would kill her daughter. Olga was caught between a rock and a hard place, but her situation doesn't move Solidus. When she gets in his way, he kills her in cold blood. Olga didn't have a weapon on Solidus and wasn't a threat to him. She'd simply served her purpose with him, and as a Patriot spy, she had to go. Also not good guy behavior. Solidus' lack of empathy extends to Raiden as well. Solidus orphaned and kidnapped Raiden when he was just 6 years old to force him to serve as a child soldier in his army during the Liberian Civil War. Solidus molded Raiden into a killing machine and used his power over him to mirror the situation he was in with the Patriots to see if monsters were made or born that way. Using a 6-year-old like that as a way to try and better understand yourself is terrible. When Raiden confronts Solidus, Solidus tells him,
You are one of a kind, but still a monster, shaped by a dark and secret history.
if Raiden's a monster, who made him that way? Solidus. Unfortunately, the list of the Patriots Solidus is after inside of GW gets destroyed. But fortunately, for Solidus, Raiden also has a list of the Patriots hidden away inside of his nanomachines. Solidus doesn't hesitate to change up his plans. He tells Raiden he's going to kill him and extract the list from his nanos. He doesn't try to think of a non-lethal way to extract them, he jumps straight to murder. Not a very good guy thing to do. Solidus is unempathetic and steps on whoever he needs to step on to achieve his goals. Whether that's in Liberia, where he wanted to know more about himself and tried to turn a 6-year-old into a monster to better understand himself, or years later when he's willing to put a hydrogen bomb into the hands of Dead Cell to manipulate them into helping him get a list of the Patriots. Solidus Revisited. Can we really blame Solidus for the things he's done and label him a villain? Knowing what we know about Solidus' time in Liberia, can we really blame him for it? He was a child himself put in an impossible situation where he was expected to fight and train other soldiers. He had no other option. The trauma he inflicted on Raiden is trauma we can infer Solidus holds himself as well, as he's a fellow child soldier. Solidus tells Raiden,
I needed to know whether we were really someone else's creation.
He uses his relationship with Raiden as a way to understand his own situation, showing a lack of maturity and insight on his part. Can we really blame a child for lashing out and hurting others when he himself is in the same situation and being hurt? Solidus was taught from a young age that his individual needs don't matter, as he was used time and again by the Patriots. Can we really blame him when he focuses on the needs of the many instead of the few? Stopping the Patriots would net an overwhelming positive for the world. Does it matter that he needs to extract that list from Raiden? Your thoughts? We took a poll here on YouTube asking if y'all thought Solidus was good or evil, and the majority of you said Solidus is good, which made my heart so happy. I know Solidus has done some bad things in his time, but part of it was when he was a kid. I can't excuse him for planning on handing a hydrogen bomb over to Dead Cell though. That one's on him. Otherwise, Solidus was ahead of his time as he recognized the threat the Patriots posed and tried to take them down. Invincible Matt 2135 commented, when he talks about how he wants to be remembered, that made me realize how selfish his actions were. He did all that not because he thought it was right, rather because he believed he deserved to have the recognition of having done so. I had never thought of Solidus like that. I always thought of Solidus' desire to be remembered as a very human thing, but I can see Invincible Matt's side too. Motivation definitely matters when determining whether or not a character's a villain. Liquid Pro Eaton 1367 shared, it's hard to boil an entire person down to good or evil, but Solidus has a list of sins longer than his tendrils. Wanting to take down the Patriots is cool, even if it was for selfish reasons, but I don't think that balances out all the other stuff he's done. I really like that metaphor. He definitely has a list of evil deeds longer than his tendrils, though personally I don't count the things he did while he was a child or under the Patriots' power. Nicolassiter 368 commented, intentions awesome, executions not so much, which sums Solidus up perfectly in my opinion. Solidus is set up to be the villain at first glance. He takes over Arsenal gear, seemingly kidnaps the president, and is the reason Raiden is an orphan, and speaks in a richly villainous voice. Is that enough to label him a villain though? Or is Solidus a deeply misunderstood character with goals ahead of his time as he wanted to take down the Patriots, an incredibly dangerous shadow organization? Which do you think it is? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for making it to the end of today's video. If you liked it, share it with someone who wants to know more about Metal Gear Solid lore. If you need more MGS content, check out my Patreon or become a channel member. I upload articles I write on upcoming videos, or just thought pieces on MGS in general. Or join us in Discord. We're always talking about MGS. More importantly than that though, please take care of yourself and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you. Special thank you to our $10 Patreon, Nader Najat. Thank you so much for your support.